How's it? First thing you've probably noticed is I have a new waistcoat. Ba-bum! The reason that I've chosen to treat myself to a new waistcoat is that the channel over the week has finally broken 1,500 subscribers, and that is absolutely amazing. So I want to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart for spending time with me, sharing our love of photography. I mentioned in a previous episode, when I was talking about my experiences at photo school, that one of the things I really enjoyed about that was this sense of community that grew up in photo school, sort of exchanging ideas and being around like-minded people. And this community seems to have started developing here on the channel. And I'm really, really pleased to hear from you guys. So most of you sort of send me emails and messages sort of saying how much they enjoy the content and sharing their love for photography with me, which is great because quite often sitting in front of this camera can feel like a bit of a one-way discussion. I don't really want to be talking at you. I want to be talking with you. And one of the things that I will be able to do now that I've passed 1,000 subscribers is there's a feature on YouTube that you unlock called a community tab. Now they haven't activated on my account yet, but what that is I can now start sharing some of my favorite photographs with you. We can have a bit more of a discussion, which is great, rather than just being in the comments below. Another thing that's remained constant throughout, the reason I'm laughing is one of the things that has remained constant throughout this channel is my cat Haggis, who's off shot here, sitting cleaning his bum while sitting on top of all my notes. So if you hear some paper in the background, that's what it is. It's the Photographic Eye cat Haggis. So he's a bit noisy, so we'll leave him be for the moment with this one. So far on the channel, I kind of focused on one style of content, which is really talking about photographers with you, sharing my favorite photographers, giving you a bit of an insight into who they are and some of their work if you're not familiar with them. I've mentioned before, I'm not going to do gear reviews. That is certainly not the focus of this channel is not to look at the gear. There are plenty other places if you want to look at gear and talk about lenses and stuff, and that's perfectly fine. But my passion is for the image itself, and that's why we're all here, is to wrap ourselves in this warm, comforting blanket of the photographic image. What I'd love to hear from you is, what sort of things are you interested in? Are you interested in the history of photography? Would you like to see more kind of what are called sort of deep dives into individual images and talk about those images themselves? I have a number of books, too many to really sort of be healthy, I suppose. And I use those as a lot of inspiration about things to talk about on this channel. And would you be interested in seeing some of those books yourselves? Would you like to do a bit of a book review? I said this is not a review channel, but would it be interesting to look at books and page through them? Because I know some of them can be quite a hefty investment, so it might be nice to see what they're like if you are thinking about taking the plunge. Let me know in the comments below. It would be fantastic to get all your feedback. What you enjoy most about the channel. Is there anything you don't like? And I know one of the reasons for getting a new waistcoat is that some people have commented about the Moya pattern on the previous Tweedy waistcoat. So I do listen. I do take everything on board, because this is as much your channel as it is mine. Without you, this channel doesn't exist. There is no point for this channel. It's just me talking to a camera and trying to shoo off a cat from my notes with my foot while trying to talk, to you guys. I mentioned earlier about this idea of community, and that really is at the heart of what I'm doing here. The last few months, since October really, I haven't worked consistently because of what's been going on in the world, and I felt a sense of sort of isolation, as I think a lot of us have done, and of course this channel has given me an outlet to discuss and talk about something that I'm extremely passionate about with other people. And this is what I would really love to foster within this channel, is this sense of community and back and forth. One of the drawbacks of working as a professional photographer and having studied photography is that I tend to assume there are lots of little bits of information that kind of everybody knows. And of course, that isn't the case at all. And a good example of this was the recent video that I put together on Irving Penn. Now, if you have worked as a photographer, if you spent any sort of length of time being interested in photography, it's more than likely you've kind of come across Irvin Penn's name, because he's quite famous within photography circles. But of course, if you've only just picked up a camera, or you've kind of not really investigated the history of photography, then you're not going to know his name. And I was quite surprised how many people hadn't heard his name or seen his work, and we're very happy to do so. So I'm very much in your hands about suggestions of things that you might find interesting to learn about, to hear about. I know it's tricky with photographers, because you can't say, I haven't heard of this photographer, so please tell me about him. But if you're interested in genres, street photography or documentary photography, which are kind of sort of similar things, but landscape and fashion, all those things, it's helpful if I get an idea about directions of knowledge and interest that you guys have. It would be lovely to investigate them, to find out, because it's also a journey of discovery for me. I have learned so much from putting together my notes for this channel, for sharing the information with you, and for me, that's been the fulfilling part, is that I'm growing this knowledge and meeting. In addition to people reaching out with me and sharing their interest in photography and telling me a bit about them and what sort of photography they enjoy, quite a few people have asked me if there's a way that they could support the channel itself. And yes, there is. I put a link in the description box below to a place called Buy Me a Coffee, which is a little quick and easy way of making a small donation to the site, just to sort of cover some of the costs. So if you are interested in helping out and making a little contribution, I'd really appreciate it. It helps me do things like the bed music and the titles and stuff like that. So that would be really appreciated. And if you'd like to, please feel free to go and visit that link right below. Once again, it's been such a pleasure to have you here on the channel with me, sharing in this journey. And I have to reiterate, once more, wow, 1,500 subscribers, and it's 500 in the last week. It's gone crazy, and I really appreciate each and every one of you spending your time with me. I know time is something that is precious and we don't get it back. So for you to sit and listen to me talk and engage with me, I really appreciate it. So thanks ever so much once again, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.